And we are live. Sbtalksports, Sean Webb. Real takes over fake debates. It is Friday. Let's get into it. Sean, how you doing on this Friday, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Still trying to figure out what a black job is, but other than that, I'm doing good, man. How you doing, man?
I don't know what that is either, but I'm doing pretty good, man. Just coming off my youngest birthday to the water park. Had a good family time. So besides that, oh man, been good, man. I did NBA draft just happened. We see NBA history happen. Possibly we're gonna see NBA history in the future on the court. My team did some things, so it is what it is. I cannot complain. But can't complain. What's up? Salute to the chat. Salute Tiffany says, let's be a shot. The Lakers got Bronny and the Celtics still winning. Like, share, and subscribe. SB Sean, the discourse around LeBron and his son is just disgusting, and the nepotism is an excuse. I hope you brothers did not fall for that crap. It's only one way to find out, Blue Ball. You got to stay listening and tune in, because we definitely going to talk about the Bronny and the nepotism statement that was going on. Salute to everybody watching in the TikTok. Salute everybody watching in the Instagram. Salute everybody watching on the YouTube. But Sean, as always, if it happens, we got to talk about it first. Breaking news live just happened here. DeJounte Murray, host guard, has just been traded to the New Orleans Pelicans. And also, before we go, shout out to our sponsor, Swift Energy. Go to swiftenergy.gg. Use code RTOFD to get 20% off your order. But like I was saying, host guard DeJounte Murray has just been traded to the Pelicans. And now, if I remember, I was looking at it off top of the head, but I can type it in so I get it exactly. Quote me if I'm wrong. It was for Larry Nance and 2 first-round picks, and I think another player.
Dyson Daniels.
Dyson Daniels. Somebody that ain't gonna. I ain't saying Dyson Daniels trash, but I mean they ain't gonna be missed. So, what was your reaction off the trade, Sess, alone from hearing it just now?
Certainly, I mean, I think the Hawks kind of realized that, hey, listen, this, backcourt of Trae Young and DeJounte Murray won't work long term. I thought one of them had to be traded, honestly. I think there was much more interest around the league in DeJounte Murray than Trae Young, for multiple reasons. DeJounte Murray's on a very good contract. He's on a 4-year, $120 million extension, averaging about $30 million a year. So you didn't necessarily have to send back a huge contract. You could send back 2, aggregated contracts. But the main thing that the Hawks got out of this deal, which again depends on how New Orleans does, was that first round pick in next year's draft. We know this draft, 2025's draft, is much better than 2024 from a prospect standpoint. Excuse me. And if you're Atlanta, you just wanted to add, that they got another first round pick later on, I believe 2029, if I'm not mistaken. So, it was a good move for both sides all right off. But from the Pelicans perspective, you got a very interesting team now with obviously DeJounte Murray, Zion, Brandon Ingram, presuming, he's still part of the plans long term, and, CJ McCollum. They just make the West that much more interesting to me, SB. And certainly they were a playoff team, last year, obviously, had to be in the play-in. This puts them in a much more interesting situation, I believe, coming into the season. But like all moves, we got to see how it plays out. But I think it's a good move for New Orleans, certainly.
I think it's a good move too. At the end of the day, you got a two-way guard in DeJounte Murray. Obviously, has very improved on his jump shot, but always has been a great defender, a solid playmaker. I think the Pelicans try to add that to that. You brought it up before the show too, that this can help CJ McCollum play more off ball too, which would be great for him. But then also, I believe that this is a safety net for 2 things that can happen. If you let B.I. walk, you still got another solid star caliber. I won't say superstar, a star player, above a role player type player in your team who can still maybe fix that role that you'll be missing in Brandon Ingram. And then 2, you also got CJ McCollum replaced, because CJ McCollum is not getting no younger no time soon. So I think this is a good thing, and you got the guy on a fair contract. I know you might miss out on picks in this next year's draft, but I figure that it's now or never for the Pelicans too. You got a solid core. You got Zion. You had Bi, CJ. You always seem like you got a little bit close. They got Herb Jones. I like Herb Jones a lot. I think him and Herb Jones together on the court will be a nice dynamic defensively too. So just looking at it from that point perspective, then yeah, I think they'll be good. But also for the chat, go ahead, Sean.
No, so I would also say just on that note, SB, the only question for them is, I presume that means Valanciunas is gone.
Yes.
What are they going to get out of the center position? Are they going to be a player in free agency to bring in, another center just to supplement on their roster? So, we'll see. But that said, again, I think it's a solid move for New Orleans. And, again, you don't get better sitting on your hands. And that's the nature of league. We just had a draft the last 2 days. Now we're about to see, free agency really kick off here, this weekend and, start Monday. And, so I think this is what it's about. This is the game. And now it's time to get your, improve your roster. So shout out to New Orleans for doing a good job with that.
Yeah. And shout out to Orleans. And the one thing, because me and Sean in the process, obviously, the more and more we strain, the more y'all make the show get bigger. We're going to upgrade. We're going to add things to the show. Also in the process, be ready looking out. We're going to put our stuff on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. That's coming soon, so be prepared for that. We also going to get a phone line soon. But obviously, I want to test it out, see how it goes. So for today, we're going to do our test. So at some point in time, I'm going to put the link down in the show. If you got a question, or you want to talk about the topic that me and Sean is talking about, and for everybody else on the other platform watching, you got to come to YouTube to hit the link, come in, ask a question. All Sean, me and you ask. We do it on arguing, and we do it out of yelling, and also keep it clean. Come in, ask your question, and we have a question. We got a rebuttal to question. Cool, that's how we're gonna keep it. But the most important thing, keep it clean. But that's what I want to stress that enough. You don't keep it clean, no matter how much I love you, I will kick you off. Like they do on air, I will kick you off. But I think the Pelicans done good. Hold on, let me copy this real quick. No, there you go, edit. Okay. Let me copy that real quick. But the next trade I want to talk about before we get into this Bronny James situation is this. The Nova Knicks, Sean, the Knicks have made a move. The Brooklyn Nets have traded Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks. Imagine this has been in talks for a while now. This has been in talks for a while now. They traded 5 first-round picks and Bogdan Bogdanovic. I'll go quick first. Basketball-wise move, magnifico move. Magnifico. If I had to give it a grade, I would give it a B+. The only reason why it's not getting an A because I think 5 first-round picks is a little too steep for Mikal Bridges, but I figure that you paying the picks for the chemistry of the team and he fit the need of the team. That's why it's still a B+. It could be an A- because Mikal Bridges has improved in his score. He always been a great shooter, always been a great defender, and he'll fit in the Tibbs system perfect because Tibbs gonna play you all year and he'll miss the games. Now, if Mikal Bridges goes to the Knicks, Sean, and get hurt, Tibbs is cooked because this man has been an Iron Man his whole career, dog. He played 82. If Tibbs get Mikal Bridges hurt, he gonna be cooked forever as a coach. He gonna be cooked. There's nothing he can say, nothing he can do to save his reputation that he hurt players. But I just think 5 first-round picks is just a little too steep for him because that's like you pretty much paying for like Kevin Durant type level player with that many type picks, because I guarantee if you call the Suns, but for KD, you probably could get that. You could probably got that same trade-off. Or for Paul George, you probably got the same trade-off. But they went for fit and team chemistry. And now we got the so-called nickname for him, which I already kind of said, but we'll talk about that in a second. But what was your reaction to the trade in general, though?
So a couple things about this trade. I think Brooklyn is basically letting everybody know what they're doing. They're tearing it down. Not so much they're going to have a fire sale, not just going to give guys away, but they want to recoup assets. And if you really go back and you look, it started with the KD trade and the Kyrie Irving trade. Their thing was, and a lot of people say, "Oh, what are they doing? They're getting assets, players, contracts, picks are assets. So whatever you got to do to get assets, that's what you do. Making the Mikal Bridges trade is them getting assets. If they make another move, which again, there's a potential they could move Cam Johnson, they could move Dorian Finney-Smith. Crazy as it may seem, they could move Ben Simmons. They have enough assets that they want to move off Ben Simmons and attach something to move off of his contract. They have the ability to do that now. So this is about them recouping assets and really starting from scratch and really trying to, rebuild, understanding where they are. This is the nature of the game. This is the nature of the beast. So this is what they're doing. From the Knicks perspective, the Knicks, felt like they had a really good season last year. They got a really good core, but they could get better. How do you do that? They had cap space to absorb Mikal Bridges, who, again, is not on an expensive deal.
No, he's not.
You're able to absorb him. And in conjunction with that, you're able to re-sign OG Anunoby to obviously a 5-year, $200+ million deal. And people say, oh, that's a lot of money for OG Anunoby. Let me be very clear. It looks like a lot of money. In 2 years, that's going to be a very good contract, provided he's healthy. Where the money, when you look at where the market and where the money's escalating for players, so don't look at the money. Look at how they're allocating the money, and also again, they have Jalen Brunson on a very team-friendly deal, so that's again part of it. So you got to give credit to the Knicks, Leon Rose, and and that front office. They're doing what they got to do to put themselves in the conversation. Certainly, they're going to be one of the teams in the East to watch. Are they better than the Celtics? No, but they are going to be one of those teams to watch in the East. Definitely.
Better than the Celtics would be a strong word, but I'm trying to tell you, Sean, I don't know.
No, I'm saying they're not better than the Celtics. They're not better than the Celtics. No. But they're absolutely in the conversation in the East, certainly.
Yeah, because I think now with the team chemistry they have, I think this Knicks team defensively is going to be a torture next year because you got OG, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart together. That's going to be deadly, and I think they're going to be able to have Jalen Brunson now for sure, and they're going to be able to run small and big. I want to see what they do with they big man position actually, because they're going to lose Hartenstein obviously. So what they going to do?
Well, maybe it depends.
Maybe if he take that cut.
Well, it depends because I think the odd man out is going to be Mitchell Robinson more than likely. Because I still think they want to keep Julius Randle, obviously. So I think it's going to come down.
The odd man out, if you ask me.
I mean, again, who wants him? Is that a contract that somebody wants? Because again, it's not always about the player; it's about the contract. Does somebody want that contract? Maybe, don't know, but I do know there's a lot more dominoes to fall this weekend, and again going next week in the free agency. So we'll see what happens. But certainly, again, I think the Knicks, have put themselves in the conversation. But I'm not ready to crown them just yet because again, we got to see.
Manny Gretzky in chat say, is BI out already? No, BI is not out yet already. He is not out. But obviously, now obviously 4 guys they put together. Tis the name, Nova Knicks. So realistically speaking, how far can this Nova Knicks team go? What's the ceiling for them? Sean? What you got?
I mean, I would say, at least the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes.
But again, what I want to see is, what does Milwaukee do to supplement their roster this offseason? They don't have a lot of flexibility. That's the first thing. But that said, can they supplement their roster? Because again, I think if they, are healthy, they're still right there in the conversation. And they get another year and an offseason and a training camp with, Doc Rivers as their head coach. So I'm not counting Milwaukee out just yet. We'll see. We'll see. But I think definitely the Knicks are right there in that Eastern Conference contender conversation again to at least make the Eastern Conference Finals.
For me, I think right now the Knicks are. For me, right now the Knicks the second best team in the Eastern Conference final. I mean, in the Eastern Conference right now. I have them better than Milwaukee because what have we learned and what the NBA has shown us is that if your team stays stagnant and you don't try to improve your team every year, you decrease in value. Your team, I know Dame and Giannis is a thing. They do, but the Knicks got the bodies to guard them. The guard and Giannis. Imagine Giannis going to do his thing regardless. You're not necessarily going to stop Giannis. But then it's like, what does Milwaukee got for the other pieces? Has Cleveland improved their team yet? I haven't seen Cleveland do anything. The Pacers got Siakam back. They came off a good year, but I don't really see them doing it. Imagine, it's still offseason. We got time. But as today stands, right now, I got the New York Knicks as the second best team in the Eastern Conference. And yes, if they don't make it to at least the Eastern Conference Finals, the season will be a failure. I don't care what nobody says. The season will be a failure. Salute Empire Jeff. What's going on? Salute. Knicks on paper should be the number. Yeah, I said that. I think they should on paper. On paper right now, they're the number 2 team in the league. They gotta be. Can I pin it in here? No, I can't. But hey, my mods, one of y'all pin this comment up top for me, please, because I don't have the YouTube popped up. But on to the next one, Shauna. Let's go ahead and get into it right here, right now. Oh, not yet. NBA draft reactions, winners and losers for you, Sean. Who is your winner? Who is your loser of the draft?
So I had 2 primary winners for me in this draft. First, Minnesota. Minnesota making the trade with San Antonio for that 8th pick and getting Rob Dillingham, really solidifying who will likely be, their backcourt mate next to Anthony Edwards for the next several years post Mike Conley, and then getting Terrence Shannon Jr. late in the first round.
Steal.
I think was an absolute steal for them. Again, he stylistically how they want to play. You talk about a player who fits them perfectly. I think Terrence Shannon Jr. does. So Minnesota for me, coming off of again what the run they just went on, the moves they made in the draft were great. And then San Antonio, I really like what San Antonio did. Again, making the trade out of 8. Not forcing themselves to take someone at 8 that they didn't necessarily think fit their timeline or fit the current makeup of their roster. But in my opinion, I really believe in 5 years, Stephon Castle could be the best player in this draft. I think he's got that much upside and that much potential, and he's in the right situation at the right organization. I think that has a proven track record of player development.
Yes.
He's in the right situation for that. And obviously we know Pop, we don't have to go into who Pop is as a coach. So for me, my winners were Minnesota and San Antonio.
As I'm looking at it right now too, I'm looking at the draft. I actually agree with you too. I agree that Minnesota won the draft so far today to get Rob Dillingham. For sure, that was a nice asset to them, and they could be a future PG. Obviously, Mike Conley don't have that much time left, and I think to get Terrence Jr. at that late, because obviously before obviously we got to talk about it. All that extra stuff went on with him. He was projected to be a top 10 pick, so they just literally got 2 top 10 picks, and that was potentially supposed to be in this draft, and both fits their team dynamic of what they want to do on the floor. So I like 100% like that Minnesota. For me, looking at it like I think Atlanta. I'm still going with Atlanta. I didn't like they didn't take the other guy, Alex Carr. I think obviously he came out and said he pretty much didn't want to go to Atlanta. So that's why they probably didn't take him. I mean, picking Washington over Atlanta ain't really you picking up which disaster you really want to be in. But I think Atlanta, because I still think Alex Sarr maybe was better than the other guy. But obviously this draft is a 50-50 draft. I feel like, Sean, this draft reminds me of the year Giannis got drafted, that Anthony Bennett went number 1. Nobody really knew who was who at that draft. And I can see this draft being like this. I feel like the guy that's going to be the best player in this draft is a guy that nobody predicted, nobody thought anything of, like they did with Giannis, and Giannis ended up becoming the best player in that draft. So me, I think my losers, I'm gonna still go Atlanta. I just that's the only one that really like sticks out to me because everything but everybody else is such a question mark. And I like Minnesota because they made a move to get 2 top 10 talents and not really at the cost of nothing too much of their roster. They still got their whole core. They still got all their stars. They lost a pick in what, 31, 2031. That's a sixth grader. Nobody cares at that point in time. Only the Spurs thinking that far. Minnesota is thinking like today. We're trying to win now. And obviously, I want to talk about my Chicago Bulls pick. They picked Mateus Bizil. I hope I said it wrong. I'll probably say your name right at some point when you get the ball in. So I did my little search and research on them questions. Maybe my first text you, I was just like, bruh, who did what are we doing? I'm like, we gonna have all JJ Redick lined up at some point in Chicago, man. So you know what I'm saying? So I was like, but then I had to remember that he was from Chicago. As you remind me, he was from Chicago. So I did my research looking into him. If you remember last year, remember they had the G League at night playing in the All-Star game, that little game they was doing. He was the guy who hit the game winner. I was like, oh, this was that guy. Okay, cool. So it's like, I'm a little chill now because what keeps me calm is that he's from here. You know, that he's from Chicago. So, you know, I can kind of believe in him. I gotta believe. I still think women needs a PG Castle, in my opinion, is like a 2 guard, which is a possibility. I think Papa teach him. I think Papa teach him how to run the offense the right way. If any place, I swear, if any place you want to go and learn how to play any position the right way, go with Pop. He'll get you right.
Yeah, and I would also say, and I'd also say again, you know, a lot of times I know people, you know, want to immediately react to the draft, right? As natural because it's the natural instinct. You know, we don't know how guys are going to be in situations. We don't know how their situations are going to change. You know, we're just making assessments based on what we see today. And again, for you know, Stephon Castle in particular, the reason why people are high on him is because we understand the steadiness of the Spurs organization, right? We know how they do business. We know how they get down. When guys go to other organizations that we have questions about, it's not always an indictment on the player. It's more of an indictment on the organization and how we view the organizations being run top to bottom. So that's what it's really about. But, you know, again, congratulations to all the guys who got drafted. You know, you only get drafted once. Hopefully, you know, you get off to a great starts and all of them get off to great starts in their careers and have long, you know, NBA careers because that's the hope. So, you know, congratulations to all the guys who got drafted.
100% congratulations to all the guys who did get drafted. But speaking of another guy who got drafted, Sean, and I'm gonna load these clips in here because I want to show you your reaction on this. But what is your opinion on the most anticipated second round pick in the history? Because I honestly believe, first of all, I don't like the draft being 2 days. We can stop that. I get it why y'all did it this year for Bronny. I understand that because the second round was more look forward towards than the first round. I guarantee you the second round draft probably got more views than the first round draft. But I'm gonna say this again. The NBA don't need 2 days for a draft. Y'all being greedy now. I get it, y'all snuck it off this year. It made sense. It made sense, Sean. Go back to 1 day. Bronny brought the hype in for it, but do you like the 2-day draft for the NBA?
I mean, I really honestly don't have an opinion on it, SB. I honestly did not see, like where round 1 I did have it on and was watching it. You know, round 2 was kind of like, oh, okay. I just kind of was just checking the picks, but I wasn't into it. Plus, it started at 4 Eastern, 3 Central. So clearly, it wasn't about getting it in prime time. It was just about, oh, we got this window to do these 2 hours that we can do a draft. I mean, you look at, well, I don't want to get into that, but the point is yeah, the NBA is taking something from the NFL, which is, hey, if you can make the draft more of an event, then do it. The thing that we're making it an event, though, is when the NFL does it, they have it at the same venue all 3 days.
Yes.
The NBA started out at Barclays on night 1, and then they moved it to a conference room in the Days Inn down the street for day 2. So I'm not saying that that's where they were. I'm just saying that's literally what they did. So, I just think if you're going to do it, that way, and you're going to try to make it an event, you got to do it big both days. You can't, can't be an obvious drop off day 2.
I agree. But now, speaking of Bronny James, what was your reaction to the Lakers taking Bronny James at number 2?
You mean at 55?
I mean 55. I'm sorry, in a second round pick. I mean, as a second round pick and a 55 pick.
I mean, okay.
It's okay.
I mean, okay.
Because it sparked a lot of conversations, right? And
sure, yeah.
Salute time is used in the chat on TikTok. It's salute. Make sure y'all like the TikTok. Get us to 1K likes on TikTok. It sparked a conversation for this, right? And I'm trying to load the Woj video in, but I got the picture. So it sparked the conversation from about Bronny being deserving of a draft pick. They said they were using nepotism for why he got drafted. He's not deserving. Bronny, for me, honestly, first of all, we talk about a second round pick. You have nothing to lose with a second round pick, and sometimes majority second round picks don't make the roster. That's 1. 2, all the assets of being a good NBA player in today's era, Bronny has it. So with the Lakers taking Bronny, it is a low risk, high reward situation. Low risk, the worst that can happen is, Bronny's might not be good enough to play. We only wasted a second round pick. Nobody's gonna miss that pick. The high reward is 1, the legacy thing with the bus that's gonna be filled in seats with Bronny and LeBron. First father-son duo, because the Lakers, Jenny Bus feel like she just chasing the glory, the entertainment. So you're going to get all that entertainment. Then 2, if Bronny actually develops to be a good player, you're going to look like a freaking genius that you knew that you was doing, and you seen this the whole time coming. So, like I said, with the Lakers, this is a low-risk, high-reward situation. And also, I want to bring up, shout out Goat James Kingdom for this. Let me move the banner, because they brought something to the attention of the hour. Everybody was bringing up Bronny's stats and saying that he wasn't deserving of being a NBA player. This is a guy, AJ Johnson. Shout out AJ Johnson too. Glad he made it. But this is just the fact of the situation, because stats don't necessarily tell the story of the player. Because I tell people all the time, Deion Waiters, who was a solid player in the league, came off the bench and average numbers wasn't that like jumping off at your eye. But this guy was picked in the first round, number 23rd pick. He averaged 2 points in the Australian League. Bronny averaged 4 points in high school. So when people, I'm just bringing this picture up to show y'all that when teams draft in the NBA, they draft off your potential. They don't really care too much about what you did. They care a little bit, but once you leave college, it don't matter no more. So I think they just draft Bronny off the potential. And yes, did LeBron James have something to do with it? Of course. Let's call a spade over there. Of course, LeBron James had something to do with that. But the Lakers also chased the history and the entertainment point. That's all Jenny Bus has been doing with that. But could Bronny be solid? Yeah. But what you think about that, Sean? If you want me to put the picture thing back up, I can. But about how they not keeping the same energy for a guy who's did this, because I don't think stats are the end all be all when it comes to this. When it comes to drafting the prospect, you draft up the potential of what you see in the guy.
Usually, yes. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Excuse me. SB, so there's a lot of different ways we can go with this, right? And let me put this disclaimer out right now. Nobody on this platform hates LeBron.
No, we don't.
We don't. Nobody on this platform hates that Bronny got drafted.
That we do not.
We don't. My central thing when a player gets drafted in any sport is this player going to the best situation for their career long term?
Now that's a conversation we need to have after you finish. We need to have that conversation.
That is the only question I ever have. Is this the best situation for this player where they currently are to go long term for not just their career, but for their development? Now, I understand people are excited about the potential history of this, and even the Lakers GM, Kobe's friend, talked about that today. The potential history of it, and that's one of the first things he talked about. There are things that make history, y'all, that aren't pleasant. The Hindenburg made history. It blew up. The Titanic, it hit an iceberg and sank. I don't care about history. History's mystery. I don't care. I really don't care.
That's facts, though. That's facts.
Yes.
That's facts.
So, and and people talk about the entertainment value and blah blah blah. Train wrecks can be entertaining too.
Devastating, but devastating for sure.
So I don't care about that. Go back to the bottom line. Is this the best situation for a young man to start his NBA career? That's the question for me. And the questions around it are legitimate. Whether people like it or not, the questions are legitimate. This is not a hate LeBron. This is not a hate Rich Paul. This is not a hate Clutch Sports. None of that stuff. And I say this with all due respect to LeBron. I like LeBron. I think LeBron in his career has largely made great decisions and great moves. Save for making House Party, the remake, and Space Jam, the remake.
Yeah,
I think he's made great decisions.
So, that was boy.
Yeah. So it proves you're not always right. Now, let me also add this caveat to it. So as I was thinking about it over the last day or so, SB, I reached out to a couple fathers of sons who are around Bronny's age, who have had long careers in certain areas. And I asked them, I said, hey, listen, if you had an opportunity to bring your son with you to where you worked and what you do into the family business, so to speak, would you do it? And the answers were very different, surprisingly. One of them was like, no. He's like, no. He said, and the reason why he said that, he said, I need my son at 18, 19, if he wants to do something, to do it and find his own way with it and find his own identity with it. Me and his mama are here to help him, but he's got to go out on his own and find his own way. Right.
Yeah.
And he said, and he brought up a good point. He said, it's like when, a bird has baby birds, the way you teach it to fly is to kick it out the nest.
There'd be more than kick about the nest. They'd be slinging them.
Yeah. But you're watching, and if you need to go help them, you swoop on down and help them. But you got to kick them out the nest so they can fly. Is this the best opportunity for Bronny to learn to fly? I don't know.
Right.
So the questions are legitimate. I will be the first to admit. The other piece of it is, and again, this goes more to speak not to Bronny and Bron and Rich Paul. This is more about the organization. Who's the voice? Who's the strength in the organization to say, this is a move we have to make, and you may not like it, but this is a move we think we have to make in the best interest of the organization. So, for example, Bronny is a late second-round pick, as you mentioned, SB. You mentioned also that a lot of second-round picks don't make the roster. What happens if he doesn't make the Lakers roster? What if they say, hey, we think he's got potential, but we got to send him down to the G League to get some growth time? How's that going to play? Are they gonna be okay with that? Is your rookie coach who has never coached on any level, and I don't want to hear about coaching 8-year-olds, is he gonna be comfortable enough and strong enough in his position to say this is what we're doing?
I don't know.
All of these things factor in. So when we're talking about an organization, I don't know if this is the best organization for him to start his career. I don't. That remains to be seen. And but the questions are legitimate, to be clear. No, they are legitimate.
The question that you're asking is a very legitimate question. Is this the best situation to develop Bronny as a basketball player? And the answer is no. I'm going to be honest. It's no. Only good thing from Bronny coming from this situation is that he's going to play with his dad. And what the Lakers are taking from this, they take the Jenny Bus only cares about the entertainment value. That's just the truth of the situation. Look at what have she been doing so far with the team. Look what Rob Pelinka has been doing so far with the Lakers. No matter if you feel that Bronny is ready or not, the Lakers haven't developed the prospect since Kobe Bryant. That's a fact. That's a true situation. Tell me a rookie that the Lakers have kept and developed. The only one they had was Kobe Bryant. B.I. Lonzo, D'Angelo Russell, Josh Hart, Julius Randle. Gone. Some became all-stars. Didn't happen with the Lakers. Only person that I can see truly sitting there developing Bronny to what he needs to be is probably his dad. And that's only because his dad is there with him. And I think for Bronny in a better situation where I don't want them to try to treat Bronny like Theonis. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just or a scallop. Like it's just a show. Everybody gonna be put Bronny in. We up 30. You know what I'm saying? I don't want Bronny to be in that type of situation, and I don't believe Bronny want to be in that type of situation. And LeBron had to realize, like, yes, you did chase history, but I believe that because I think Bronny even still live with his parents, which is nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that if I say he still live with his parents. Because if you gonna still live with your parents while you in the league, then I've asked you, working with your dad and being your dad at home and your dad on the road is two different things. And no funny stuff. I meant to put this clip in here too. I want to have a good laugh. But off track for a little second. Do you remember the scene at was it Love and Basketball when he was talking to his dad and he found out his dad was doing stuff on the road? There was somebody when Bronny found out what his dad be doing on the road. I meant to put it in. I just thought about it now. I wanted to put that in there so you can see that. That is so funny. It's like when Bronny found out what Bron been doing on the road. Look, man. But all jokes aside, but it's a lot of different things that come into tech because it's like you could be cool with somebody, but you can't live with somebody. It's like it's still those type of things. So how him and Bronny gonna bump heads? How Bronny gonna take when Bron be overcritical on him? How the team gonna react with that? Like because Austin Rivers brought up a good point. Austin Rivers got drafted to the Pelicans, struggled.
Yes.
On his way to the G League, out the league. He picks up by the Clippers, revamps his career. Nobody even credited none of the work that Austin Rivers put in. All the conversation was that your daddy saved your career. And that was far from the truth because Austin Rivers actually put in work, developed parts of the game. Only thing Doc Rivers did was give him a chance. And if this is what LeBron is doing, if all he doing is giving Bronny a chance, then I'm cool with that. But don't take credit from the kid because all Bronny was doing is literally just being humble the whole time. They say using the 55 pick as a Bronny is a low risk considering majority of the late second rounders are overseas. There you go. I said it. So, it's a low situation. Go ahead.
So I think generally speaking, it is low risk when you look at where you picked them. Yes. The problem is if the organization has to make a decision about his future in the organization and on that team, and say that decision does not necessarily vibe with what his team, when I'm saying his team, Bronny's team wants, or Bronny's team thinks, how is that going to play? So that's going to be it's you got to be able to manage these situations, and that's really what it's about. How is this organization set up to manage the potential for these situations? I think most organizations think they can do it. Most of them can't. We've seen it. You know, you know what happens if a teammate in practice sets a hard screen on Bronny.
What LeBron gonna do? Why you hear my?
Yeah.
Can JJ Redick actually coach your son and yell him or bench him? Or what you gonna react like?
So
it's a lot. It's a lot to it.
Right. So, and again, is the player who sets the hard screen, because again, is more than likely if Bronny makes the roster, he's gonna be on the Stay Ready team. The Stay Ready team is the team that basically they don't play. They just practice a lot. They run. When you run around 5-on-5, you run against a Stay Ready team. What happens to somebody who again is playing, has a hard foul on Bronny in practice.
I can tell you, Sean, right now, learn Chinese. LeBron sending you to China.
Yeah. So again, this is, and I tell you who I blame most for this. I blame the Kardashians, because this is reality TV. That's all this is. This is reality TV. This isn't even really about basketball. This is just reality TV. And I understand sports on television is entertainment.
Who owned the team?
Right.
Who owned the team? That's all I'm saying. Who owned the team, Sean? And I'm glad you brought that up, the Kardashian thing, because Kardashian benefited from two things. Living in LA. I ain't gonna say the negative for one. That's why it's really like three, but I'm gonna leave that. We gonna keep it PG.
But we know what it is.
What Drake say? I'm trying to keep it PG. We gonna keep it PG. It was because obviously reality TV, being entertained, being in the limelight. But the thing that y'all all complain about with Bronny, nepotism, off their name alone. The person who owned the Lakers got that spot because of nepotism. So I want to have a real deep conversation right here. I want to have a real deep conversation, Sean, about this. Because let's answer the question first, then let's go in detail. We can answer question on three together at the same time. Did Bronny James get drafted because of nepotism?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Yes.
Yes. But let me say this. In that vein, SB, I don't care about that, because I know nepotism exists in a lot of fields, including sports. Look at a lot of your teams and the makeup of their front offices. You see a lot of people with the same last name.
Yes, sir. Jerry Jones, and for that, I ain't gonna call him out his name, but the guy, I'm definitely making a TikTok on it when I find the video later. The guy who said Jerry Jones' kids earned a spot in for that job that they got. You better do your research again, because no, they did. They didn't have no prior experience with working at no spots and developing teams. Jerry Jones' son, I think it was Jerry Jr., literally graduated college in 95, and right out of college, he got the job in 96 with the Cowboys. Right out of college.
Yes.
What experience do we have? That's nepotism. Yeah. Nepotism ain't nothing wrong with that. But go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine, SB. So yeah, I don't care about that. I understand that. And I'm not saying that nepotism is a bad thing. Not saying that at all. Right. I have been places in my life where I know somebody's child is there because of who their mama and daddy is. Fine. That's fine. But ultimately, what you're going to get judged on is your ability.
Yep.
Can you get the job done?
Yep.
And do you help us achieve our ultimate goal? Whatever that is. So I get that. I understand that. I don't care about the nepotism piece. That does not bother me. Right. But I will say, once again, if you strip the last name and who a person's mother or father is away from them, and we just judge them strictly on their abilities, are they capable? Are they able? That is what it ultimately comes down to. That's what it comes down to.
Your father or your mother can only get you so far. They can get you in the door. Your skill set, like all LeBron did was got Bronny through the door. If Bronny can't keep up, Bron can't keep him in the league. Bronny has his own skill set, has to keep him in the league at any point in time.
And I will say, if LeBron wants to keep Bronny in the league and he's worried about him being in the league long term, here's what you do: retire, get that team in Vegas, and make sure Bronny got a job on that team in Vegas. If that's your concern long term. Somebody brought up earlier about when Jordan was running Charlotte, and he said Marcus and Jeffrey didn't get no tryouts with the Hornets or the Bobcats.
For what?
So, I'm not saying Bronny getting Bron getting Bronny drafted is a bad thing. I'm not saying him using his power and his leverage is a bad thing. I'm saying it will only go so far if Bronny is not capable of doing the job. And again, part of this is he in the organization? Is he in the place where he can develop and become a competent NBA player? That remains to be seen.
Now, for me, Sean, I wanted to talk about two things. And this is like my real life point and basketball point. And Blue Ball, we see your questions after this point. We're going to definitely get to you, Blue Ball. Okay, my real life perspective thing, right? Me as a dad, I got two daughters. I'm in a position, I'm in a position working on trying to put them in the best position ever in life. And why wouldn't, if I get myself in a higher arc position, why wouldn't I help my kids be successful? And I was turned off a little bit, and Woj had to be, I'm going to play Woj. Woj actually snapped. And Stephen A. think he's slick by trying to double down on it after Woj said it before him. Like, nah, you could have been stepped on it and said, because Woj stayed on business. It was like, nah, this ain't the first person to depend on nepotism. Now, all of a sudden, Stephen A. agreed and then doubled back down the next day. But I'm going to go get Woj credit. I ain't playing Stephen A. video. I ain't rock with that. He tried to hop on the train after. But real life stuff, like, and this is where we have the problem where I'm born and raised West Side Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had the best, but I can show like say I ain't struggled. So I never want to see my kids go through the same thing. So you don't think when I got it, you don't think I'm gonna make sure my kids good. And this is where the problem where this nepotism word plays a part. And when kids who are in the hierarchy try to come back to like where I'm from in the neighborhood and be hood, get caught in situations, don't appreciate what their parents actually helped them with because you're trying to take someone. A lot of people want to have, wish they could be in that position that Bronny got to make it easier, have that extra step and have that extra boost. And I hate when people be like looking down on people because their parents did their job to take care of them. Now, if I get to the point, I'm going to tell my girls, look, y'all was born at West Chicago, but we moved up, did our thing. Hey, look, don't let nobody know. Hey, look, you a silver spoon, baby. You better say I'm damn right because my daddy did his job. She get out of my face, paper plate. And that's the type of energy I want to keep because don't disrespect my child. Imagine, it's not even about a race thing because when the race thing came into play, I didn't like how everybody's discrediting a black man who got his black son in a higher position in the league that he did. Bigger picture thing. That's the most big picture thing. Forget the names. One of the best black men at his profession got his son in another position, helped take him to the next level. And I love that Bronny didn't disown nothing, didn't run away from nothing, but not being too arrogant, not too greedy, because that's what you got to teach the kids. If you got your kids in a higher position, teach them not be ego, teach them how to be humble. And then if you kids from Lord, which my mama taught me, always be humble and work hard. And that's where the problem come in. Imagine, I'm from Chicago. I didn't see people from both sides lose their life. I see the kid who had no business being in this situation because his parents, I know he got good parents at home taking care of you. Why are you doing these things? Because of things like this. Kids getting talked about, nepotism. Or you only got this. You ain't really working hard. Or you only got this. Or you don't got this in life. That's what I'm like, big picture, Sean, what I don't like about the negativity around this situation.
So SB, I agree with you. I think the piece that people often didn't talk about when you would tell kids or you grow up in certain situations to work hard and be humble.
Mm-hmm.
The part that people didn't talk about enough was network.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's your network that helps you get into certain lanes and spaces that you wouldn't otherwise get into. You can work your tail off, right? I don't say this as to be pretentious or anything like that. My belief in myself is that I can talk sports with the best of them.
You care.
What I don't have is this huge network that says, hey, you know what? This guy is somebody you want to deal with. Hey, you might want to go and, try out or audition for this particular network to do sports talk. I'm just talking about the belief I have in myself. But also, but it comes from having put in the work, having gone through media, having done all these different things. But the network piece matters. Bronny has a network, part because of who his dad is, and part because he's in a great situation where he's able to do what he loves to do and has used his network to, in addition to that, to get a chance to fulfill a dream of playing in the NBA. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
Again, we have to push that type of stuff more, right?
Yes.
We have to. We have to.
Because nobody teaches us that. And I'm gonna be honest. Everybody know I worked at the radio station working the radio station WS downtown. I only got that job because my teacher, my former teacher, shout out Love Cheese. If you ever seen Mad Cow back in the day, whatever, cool, Love Cheese, he was with them crazy guys. He was my teacher in media school, and that's how I got the job. I was applying before then to multiple places. They told me either I didn't have no experience or I got the experience, but they went in a different direction because you know what they picked? They picked who they knew. And that's okay. And that comes in a situation. I trust me, I probably got picked over somebody who was more overqualified than me at the time. Because the person who got me in manager, and Sean will be honest, I didn't even have to do the application. They just hired me. Oh, this is my student I want to hire. He gonna be with me running this show. Okay, cool. And literally, you gonna start next month. That's how I got here. And that's nepotism. That's all it is. So it's like, don't fault Bronny and don't fault LeBron for doing what he's supposed to do as a parent, because everybody would probably do the same. Some people feel different that you want your kid to maybe get it on their own, but like, if I can nudge you in there, I'm gonna get you in there. Now, and it's like being honest of the fact, but I want you to react. Let's go to video mode real quick to the Woj video real quick. I don't know. Did you see Woj this?
Him talking about the nepotism?
Yeah.
I did, but play it. Yeah, go ahead and play it.
I don't want to hear these charges, people talking about nepotism.
No,
the NBA is full of nepotism.
Full of it.
The ownership level, front offices,
absolutely,
coaching.
Yep.
I don't want to hear it all of a sudden because of Bronny James' father plays for the Lakers. Right. It is rampant in this league.
That is
Imagine, if I told you, I was like, imagine, I've been hearing Stephen A. clips and talk about him. I could be wrong. If anybody listens to this and say, no, SB, he been saying this, prove me wrong. But this is literally the next day, too. Though. I was like, all right, come on, Stephen A. I rock with you, buddy. Come on, bro. You clearly chasing it.
We live in a country where nepotism has taken place with white folks religiously forever. We've said little to nothing about it. In the NBA specifically, in a league where at least 70% of the players are black, we've seen nepotism with white folks all over the place. Ownership, executive ranks, player personnel, scouting, coaching. The list goes on and on. We've said little to nothing about it.
And that is, but imagine, I just feel like he was telling the truth, but I was like, Stephen A., well, you could have been said, hop down on this conversation, but whatever. But and sometimes you can't complain about the conversation being said, but it's the truth. Because I'm going to give my perfect example of nepotism right now, right? Lakers, Jeannie Buss owns the team. Daughter, her dad used to own the team. Dad passed. The kids get the kids run the team. Not qualified to run the team at all. Okay, but I get you. You say SB, but they should inherit it as their dad business. You got it. Rob Pelinka got hired only because he was Kobe Bryant agent who had an attachment to the Buss family. That's nepotism. Oh, Rambis, why he got so much say so with the team? Nepotism. Again, Jerry Jones, all his kids run the team. Nepotism. It's it is okay. It's just a part of the thing, because at the end of the day, people would rather work with who they comfortable with or who's close to them or feel like they helping a family member than have somebody who's qualified in a position that they don't truly know. That's it. But on to the next one. So obviously we talk about the Lakers.
Don't forget Blue Boat's question.
Oh, my fault, Blue Boat. My fault, Blue Boat. Shout out, Blue Boat. Always showing love in the chat. Blue Ball said, Bronny needs work and a short stint in the G League. Agreed. Will do wonders, so he won't be playing significant minutes next season. I don't think so either. I feel like don't even try to force it. I believe let him go back and forth. But Rich Paul already said he's not signing a two-way contract. I don't care if you don't got a two-way contract, but you need to go down there and get you some reps because we need you to be working. We need the reps. What about you, Sean? What you think?
I mean, anything that can get him reps, right? Again, NBA teams don't play 15 guys every night. they only dress, generally 12 or 13. So, will he dress if he's up with the Lakers? Probably. Will he play? Not a guarantee. So anything he can do to play, I think will help him. But again, there's got to be an understanding on both sides that we think this is in the best interest of you long term. And it can't be hard feelings, and it can't be if it's something that his team and his support folks don't want. There can't be we don't like this, because again, all respect to LeBron, he can do the passive aggressive thing from time to time that can drive you a little crazy. And, there can't be any of that. This is a business, this is an organization, and that organization, just like every other organization, has the responsibility to do what they think is in the best interest of the organization, good or bad. So, that's it.
Okay, and then also his other question is, Blue Ball with another question. Do you think another season of college would have done Bronny better? I'm 50-50 on it. I'm gonna say for skill-wise and development as a player, of course, one more year wouldn't hurt. I'm gonna say I'm on the other side because I feel like it would have been harder to draft him in the next year draft than this draft, and I believe that's why Rich Paul and his camp and Bronny camp pushed forward to go this year, because this draft wasn't really like that much. Like you could sneak Bronny in this draft. Next year's draft, it might be stacked. So they talk about this might be the next big draft. So I'm 50-50 on it. So what about you, Sean?
From the draft perspective, I agree. SB, I really agree. But again, I believe part of it is with his name cachet. If he shows next season in college that he's grown from his freshman year, he would still get drafted. So I just think it could have helped. It definitely could have helped him.
Yep. Salute G Money. But also, here's another thing we got to talk about, because obviously with the Lakers, when it comes Bronny, LeBron James Jr., we got to talk about senior. And this where it shows more that the Lakers are about entertainment and not about winning. LeBron James is projected to sign a 3-year, $160 million extension with the Lakers, which is probably going to make him around $50 million at the age of 40. Sean, I'm going to go ahead first and say that I think this would be a bad decision for the Lakers, because the next story I'm going to tell you after this, and I think this would be a bad decision for LeBron James. But what you think real quick?
I think, excuse me, chickens always come home to roost. And as someone who loves chicken, it never makes me mad when chickens come home to roost. So that's it.
So, Sean, the reason why I have a problem with this, right, because this obviously will put you in salary cap hell. I don't care if it's LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Tim Duncan, Shaq, Kobe. You don't pay no 40-year-old $50 million a year. I get it. It's Bron. He's still at a high level. He's still 40, dog. Look, this is the most I've seen LeBron hurt ever in his career, and it ain't gonna change. He ain't getting no younger. Father Time is undefeated for a reason. Because two things why I have a problem with it. Because one is this, Sean. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, it's rumored that LeBron James and Anthony Davis want the Lakers to go all in and get another star for the team to make this push. LeBron, how they gonna make this push? You take up all the money. You finna sign for $50 million a year, brother. Who they gonna get? They ain't gonna be able to get nobody. And also, this ties it to with Bronny. I feel like LeBron is taking these extra 3 years to help Bronny get on the straight and narrow and get on the line to the path to do great in his NBA career. And maybe possibly catch Bryce his first year, maybe to see Bryce too. If he pull that off, that'd be crazy. I think Bryce going into his senior year, so his third year be. So if he pulled that off double time, he's on a different type of timing. But Sean, my question is this: how can the Lakers go all out and sign LeBron for $150 million?
I mean, that means they would more than likely have to move. Depending, so the person you can't really count on right now is D'Angelo Russell, because he has a player option for $18 million. So can't really count on him. But you do have Rui Hachimura, you do have Austin Reeves, you do have Jared Vanderbilt, you do have Gabe Vincent on deals that you could potentially use to go out and make a move? Is it Trae Young, with DeJounte Murray, being off the table now? I don't think it's Donovan Mitchell, because I think the Cavs have been very, very clear they will not help the Lakers ever again, inadvertently or otherwise. So, it's going to be a matter of if they can, aggregate those deals to make a deal. But that's going to be very, very difficult now with the new CBA, because you basically have to match dollar for dollar when you're in the luxury tax as the Lakers are. So, will they be able to make a deal? I don't know. But again, this is, part of the thing with that particular franchise is, they star chase, they star hunt. And, maybe they could, but that remains to be seen. I just know right now it would be very, very difficult for them to do it.
I think this shows these two statements right here. It's not even that like LeBron got over control of the roster. No, I just feel like this just shows how much of a joke that the Lakers franchise is at this point in time, where they're just chasing like entertainment value and not winning. Because if LeBron is predicted to just sign that and he offered that, and they have a conversation, say, hey, I want us to go all out for a star. You ain't have one conversation with LeBron. Hey, look, LeBron, we ain't telling you take a hasty pay cut, but let's go instead of doing 160, how about a 130? Give us a little room to work with. Not telling you take a minimum pay cut, because I know why LeBron trying to get as much money as possible, because he's trying to own the team. Understandable. But is your mindset on winning this championship or not? And then look, whatever, if you take this pay cut, because they already do whatever LeBron want anyway. They just decided they got the coach he want, they got his son. They got players when he wanted players. So I just say whatever move you truly want, whatever style you go, we're going to pull out all stops to get them. The 2 picks we got that you want to get rid of, we'll go get Paul George. We got Trey Rui, them 2 picks get Paul George, we'll go get him. But you gotta throw us a bone. You gotta give us some wiggle room to work with to make it happen. You can't max out all the assets and then tell me, hey, turn water into wine, or turn a brick to a steak sandwich. It's not gonna happen. It's always gonna be the same thing. And that leads me to the point that I think at this age and that point in time, Sean, I don't think LeBron care about winning championships. Now, do I think he go out there and compete? And if it's there, yes, I believe he goes for it. But every move that he has since made with this team and how this Laker team is developed, which LeBron has his handprint on, does not scream, let's go for a championship. Because I get why he want Bronny. That's his son. So we got that situation. But you got a coach who never really coached before, never coached at all, no coach's experience at all, try to coach this chaos with your son, and this bad roster, and with no salary cap, and you depended on 2 rookies to improve your shooting, which Bronny and Dalton Connect. Those are your 2 shooters that you depending on now. I feel like this is nothing but chaos. Then also LeBron doubled down and want to sign a high contract at the age of 40. If you want to get to that point or to that next level, or tell me that you want to win a championship, you have to make a sacrifice too. And I have not seen LeBron never make a sacrifice yet. So do you feel that LeBron cares about winning championships? Because I think championships is like low on the list, or it ain't number one. I think number one is help develop Bronny to have a stable career, get as much money as possible, so when you get to own the team, and then 3, win the NBA championship. That's how I think it is for me.
Yeah, I mean, not trying to get into the mind of LeBron, because again, you never know with him, which is, I want to say this, SB. I don't think it's talked about enough. One of the difficulties post his first stint in Cleveland of building a team around LeBron is you don't know how long he's locked in to stay.
That's true too.
So, as much as people criticize the franchises for not doing this and not doing that and not blah, blah, blah around LeBron, part of it is you don't know. So what you don't want to do, generally speaking, as an organization, is tie yourself into a bunch of long-term deals with guys you think you're putting around somebody who may or may not be there.
Yeah.
And whether that's fair or not, that's not what this is about. I'm just telling you what the perception is, again, from watching traditionally how he's moved post his first stint in Cleveland. So but that's not, again, an unfair criticism. It's just being honest. So so that there's that. But what does he, want? Again, I think what you're seeing in today's NBA, and again, today's NBA and the landscape of today's NBA, the big three model is really dying. You have two guys, and can you fill out the roster with some high quality role players, borderline star level players around those guys in order to compete? So I think that's really what it comes down to. They can trade for another big salary, but in this CBA, it will be very difficult to field a roster, and the cost of it, because let's be honest, the Lakers as an organization, they broke. Jeannie Buss is not built like Steve Ballmer financially. So writing those big checks to the league every year in luxury taxes catches up. So that's the other piece. So if you listen to JJ Redd, I gotta make sure I say his name right because I call him something else. JJ Redick's press conference from the other day, they talked about their desire to want to now to be more of a developmental organization, bring guys in, grow them, develop them, because of the new restrictions in the CBA as it relates to adding a third, high salary guy. So, and Rob Pelinka's talked about that. Whether they do it or not remains to be seen, because again, who seems to be pulling the strings?
LBJ.
His name is LBJ. So again, we don't know. And I hate that we spent so much time talking about this organization that is basically a 7 seed,
which is going to be a play-in team. Yes, we did.
But we understand they drive traffic and clicks, and I get it. But
But you said you hit it right on the head. You hit it right on the head real quick, right? Because Juice said how he don't want to win, but want to add another superstar. Sean hit it right on the head, mid making his point. The big three model is dinosaured out. It's extinct. It don't work no more. LeBron's still trying to win how he won in Miami. Sean, when was the last time Miami won a championship? If you don't mind me asking, because he is the consistent Heat fan of the show.
2013.
2013. You know what year we in? 2024. Oh, what about when he won with Cleveland? That was 16? What was it?
2016.
2016. It's 2024. The league has changed. Well, let me open your mindset up a little bit more. The team that was in the finals were teams. The Mavericks got a team, and they only really got 2 stars. The Boston Celtics got 2 stars and built from top to bottom. You will not win with 3 guys and a bunch of minimal guys. It will never happen again. Stop. That's the point where, and LeBron, I think LeBron James is the smartest basketball player ever, the highest IQ. LeBron James knows that. And I'm telling you, by him consistently begging for another star with minimum guys, he's pretty much looking at a mirror and telling you he don't care about winning. He don't care about winning championships. Or I ain't gonna say he don't care about winning championships. It's not first on his list. I can't go in the man of LeBron. I could be wrong, but his actions are saying I'm not winning the championship is not priority on my list. You got a rookie. He wanted JJ Redick, who never coached before. He got his. He wanted them to waste all their draft picks. Only draft pick they didn't want him to waste was to get Bronny. He wanted to sign for 3 years, $160 million at the age of 40. Then he want the Lakers to go all out for a star. So you want the Lakers to trade all your role players. Who coming off the bench? Who gonna be your other guy? Is it gonna be Paul George? Is it Trae Young? What happened if one of them get hurt? It's over with, because AD gonna sit out a couple games. Bron gonna sit out a couple games. Come on, now it's gonna be LeBron, AD, Bronny, and Paul George or Trae Young. That's not a championship team. They will get swept by Denver. They will get swept by Minnesota. That's the point. LeBron's smart enough, though, you need to build a team. And LeBron just know that he's not going to be around for long enough to make them do that. And Juice, you asked my point. The Celtics was loaded. That's the point. If you got 3 big guys, your team is not going to be loaded. The Celtics don't got a big 3. They got a big team. Why you think how they could go to the finals and a secondary player win Finals MVP and Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and Derek White can be as impactful as he is, and Drew Holiday can be as impactful as he is. The Lakers' 3rd best player will come off the bench for the Celtics right now. Right now. King said, I don't think Bron has ever truly made any sacrifice in his career. Yeah, he didn't. He don't. But let me know what y'all think about it. Make sure y'all leave a comment on the question below. Do y'all feel that LeBron James care about winning championships? I just feel that it's not a top priority for me. How his actions are showing me that it's not a top priority. I think it's Bronny, money, championship. That's me. We're going to end it on that. But yeah, we did spend a little bit too long on this. Hey, be with us. I know we usually go an hour, but this show going to be a little bit long. We got a couple more stories. I feel like this was going to be another one too. Sean, so Badger, this happened like last week on vacation, water park, phone blowing up. Oh, Jordan exposed the stats. The stat book is cooked. I did my research. Match. I'm still looking into it. I want to watch more game film because it's like if everybody watching the game, this is my only question. How did this get passed? If everybody watching the game and you see the game and the stats is on the TV screen, how did they go into the book and put it as a different stat and just get away with it for this long?
That's a good question. Because
from what I see, and tell me if I'm wrong if you did my research on it, but from what I see, that this is true. The stats books was cooked at home. So is that true?
So there were rumors that certain people would slip the statistician, a few dollars here, a few dollars there to make sure that certain stats got credit to them. So, for example, if Scottie knocked the ball away from someone he was guarding and Jordan came up with it, they would credit the steal to Jordan.
Oh.
So, there was that accusation. And Scottie, again, as you have in the banner, Scottie's book, talks about that.
Can't trust that Scottie book all the time, though, because Scottie will say whatever, sell that book.
Well, that, but also, again, I think is one of those things where, I'm not. So this is where I think always when we talk about somebody's value, stats don't always tell you value. Stats tell you production.
Yes. Statistical
production. So, we got to be always careful about that, and I heard a lot of back and forth the other day about this whole thing. If you go back and you look at the DPOY voting for that year, the margin between Jordan, who came in second, was Mark Eaton, I believe, that year. It's like 31 votes, first place votes. So there was still a wide gap between Jordan and Mark Eaton. I think Akeem was third that year, if I'm not mistaken. So did it help? I don't know. Are they going to change it? Probably not. This isn't Mr. 3000. They ain't gonna go in and take away the 3 hits, and Jordan's not gonna come back and try to get the steals back added to his ledger. It's over. Let's move on. It's not changing anything. Let's move on.
But so if we go into the fact that the data reveals that this is true, so we go acknowledge that this is true. I have a problem with this, Sean, because this opens the Pandora box for a lot of things and a lot of conversations. The first conversation is obviously what people been waiting for, which I feel like it's people wasn't genuinely looking back and say like, hey, this crooked stuff was going on. People just use this for the GOAT debate and trying to put them over to whatever. But it's going to be entertaining. This is going to change and entertain that conversation. Let's put that one to the side because, they're just entertainment purpose conversation. Realistically speaking, it takes away from the integrity of the game. It does. Because now it opens the Pandora's box of what about Mr. Wilt, who break every stat record. Ain't no telling his stat book gotta be cooked. Imagine this is 1988. 1988. Games was televised. Obviously, it was like the main games, but the games were televised enough when you see the games. So Wilt stat book gotta be cooked. Bill, Kareem, Magic, John Stockton, the list could go on. So now when you looking back at that and then you tell players of today, hey, you need to be the greatest these guys, you need to be on this stat list, you need to get these awards, but these awards got boosted because these players' stats got boosted. Don't get me wrong, it looked great. Like Jordan probably could have still won Defensive Player that year, but I guarantee you it looked way better that he had 200 and 100 2 years in a row. But he only got that 200 and 100 in years in a row because of the stat boosting. Now, just to play devil's advocate, I still believe it takes away from the integrity of the game, but I also believe the real reason why this happened, I think the NBA higher-ups had something to do with this too. I don't think it's just players say, hey, man, he go 100, give me a triple-double tonight. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm one away from triple. Give it. I think it was because at that point in time, the NBA was still in the process of becoming a big major thing. Imagine, the NBA went global in the 90s. So they was moving up. It was like global in the 90s. Am I wrong? Yeah, you didn't look. Was I wrong? It was like the 90s, right?
Yeah, it was
Jordan. 90s, okay. You
Post,
didn't look. You scared me a little bit. You're like, hold on, wait. Yeah, I'm like, you scared me a little bit.
Post Dream Team, yes.
Post Dream Team. That's what I'm saying. Post Dream Team. And I think during that 80s time, it'll probably look better in the paper saying that, oh man, Jordan had 6 steals or 8 steals or triple-double, and they get people more into the game. So I think they was more about trying to sell a product. That's just my conspiracy theory. That's why I think that the people up top had something to do with it too, to make it sell better. I could be wrong. I'm just saying that's my conspiracy theory, Sean. Because remember, the league didn't really pop off till after the Dream Team. That was 90s. And then boom. Great, because everything in the 90s popped off. Too honest, to be honest about it, because everybody feel like the 90s is just the greatest era of life. But that's a different story or a different day. I didn't get to enjoy that era. You did, but I don't know. I would say 2000s. But so if the data reveals this, though, Sean, what is your thinking behind why this happened? And do you believe that Michael Jordan isn't the only player who got a stat line booster?
I mean, I think that's whenever you do this type of stuff, right? And obviously you revisit certain things for whatever reason. Why that year in particular, I think, stood out is because that was the year Jordan did win the DPOY and the MVP. I think when people do this kind of stuff, it is to whether to illegitimize or to pull someone down a rung, so to speak, particularly because now everything is centered around some GOAT conversation and blah, blah, blah. Again, I feel like it's a waste of time. Honestly, that there could be energy better spent on other things, but someone had time in their day to do this. I certainly don't. I think a lot of times it's just to delegitimize, someone's status, right? Yeah. And we talk about this in a lot of different areas. Oh, did so and so write this song, or or who wrote this song, or who wrote that? And it's like, well,
who's telling the truth into this?
Yeah. Who, if the person who wrote it got credit for it, then that's all that matters. So so I just think we're just in this space of let's delegitimize as many things as possible, and that's it. Do I think inflated stats happen? I think inflated stats have happened all the time, but not just in basketball and other sports. One of the things I think is incredibly disingenuous. If there was a quarterback that used to play for University of Florida, I'm not going to say his name because I don't like University of Florida. You see it in the back. I hate UF. Always have, always will. He would throw a 2-yard hitch to a receiver, and the receiver would basically take it 70 yards. And the announcers would be like, oh, he just threw a 72-yard touchdown pass. No, he threw a 2-yard hitch, and the receiver took it 70 yards. But on the stat, it's going to go down as a 72-yard touchdown pass.
Right.
So is that whole thing? Do stats really tell the story? No, stats just are just a denominator of or delimiter, excuse me, of what happened in the game, but it does not tell the entire story. So this whole thing of going back and looking at old stats and who did this and who did that, I just think it's a waste of time at the end of the day. Why?
Because they got to push the agenda, and I think it's the GOAT debate that stemmed all this up because people wanted to like prove a point. But I feel like this, right? If you figure whoever you guys go, it don't matter. Sean right here has Kareem as the GOAT. After this situation, Sean, I don't know. Because it's really a close conversation. I'm finna just say Tim Duncan the GOAT, and then nobody can question me and everybody can leave me alone. But does this expose MJ's legacy? Does this hurt MJ's legacy? Does it take him out the number? Well, you don't got him at the number one spot. You got him at what, 2, right?
For me, yeah. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3 is Kareem, Jordan, LeBron. Where you have them in that, I don't really care. I think all of them are, and for their era, they're the GOATs of their era. So yeah.
Yes. He said respect Tim Tebow. Why you expose him?
First of all, I never said it was that overrated fullback, left-handed fullback. I never said it was him.
Man, look, we ain't doing that, man. Because Tim Tebow was the best quarterback in college till Cam Newton popped up. That's all I'm gonna say. I stand up. Season.
Not all time. No. There were better quarterback seasons before that, but that's another conversation.
Let's go. We can say that. We can have that conversation. Nobody do my research. Salute. He said 100 and TV in the building. But does this stat boosting expose Michael Jordan legacy, or it didn't do nothing for you?
No.
For me, I just don't like that it take away from the integrity of the game. That's just me. I don't like that. And then it was like, if you want to use it, because it's the same thing about if it comes out that LeBron on PEDs, I'm gonna feel the same way. If it ever come out, I don't care if it exposed 30 years later. I'm gonna say the same thing. It took away from integrity of the game. You that's it. That's how it is. I'm always on the respect the game thing. So
my problem with the PED argument is I've seen guys who couldn't play worth a lick take quote unquote performance enhancing drugs, and it didn't matter. I've never bought into this PED thing. Calling it a performance enhancer does not mean it enhances your performance.
Right.
It may make you do certain things, but it does not necessarily mean it enhances your performance. So I've never been a fan of that. You still got to put in the work in other areas.
I agree with that. Hold on, where I see. King Style said Braun benefit from stat booster too. They have videos out but the stat booster they talk about King on this one is like credit them with other people's stuff where it's clearly not it's clear that it's not that trust me, anything that been on wax, if you talk about how the Thunder used to let Westbrook get the rebound and push the break or let him get the rebound triple up, but that ain't it. They talking about he didn't do it at all and they just put it in the book. So he had probably three steals at the end of the game. When the game over, they gave him 7. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. That's what I'm saying. That's bad. But I don't know, man. Let me know in the comment section. Do y'all feel that MJ legacy was exposed because of this situation? On to the next one. Sean, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this one. This is for all my Sunday ticket guys. Please listen up right here. Sean, go ahead and tell us about this story.
So basically what happened was the NFL has been in a lawsuit. It's called the Sunday Ticket lawsuit, Sunday Ticket case. So if you were someone who bought NFL Sunday Ticket back in the day when it was on DirecTV, the NFL has lost the lawsuit and they've been ordered to pay $4.7 billion in a class action lawsuit to subscribers to NFL Sunday Ticket. Now, to be clear, you're not getting any money right off because it has to go through appeals process. So it stays any money being paid out by the league until the appeals process happens. But essentially, and if you want, I would suggest, if you're more interested and want to do more research, what they basically intimated was the NFL overcharged for Sunday ticket. They overcharged. They by overcharging, obviously, that means that the everyday average person couldn't afford to pay for it, because at one point, NFL Sunday ticket was like $400. And and again, if you live out of market and you want to watch your team, and because you weren't guaranteed to get your team that is in your market, that is not in your market, get their games, you get NFL Sunday ticket. They didn't offer team packages. They didn't allow you to buy individual games. It was, you buy this package and nothing else. So there were a lot of layers to this particular lawsuit. So, I just want people to understand the business of sports, and this was a big deal. And so, hopefully this will, make access to games, whether if it's in a league pass or, again, a team pass or buying individual, it cautions leagues in the future from doing this kind of stuff. And, because again, it's really about the consumer. So just something to consider. Again, we talk about this kind of stuff from time to time, because again, there's a business side to this sports thing, and we just really want people to understand that, and that's what this was about.
Yeah, for all y'all who had Sunday ticket, go get it. And then I think Amazon was trying to do that this recently. Like, why are you trying to make everybody pay for everything? Like, I'm in Chicago. I can't watch every Charger game. Let me just buy the Charger packet. Every Charger game, come on, I can watch every Charger game. I did. You down in what? You were in Florida right now, right, Sean? Or Florida? You a Saints fan? Really a Buccaneers fan? But it's a different story for a different day.
You doing that?
But yeah, he a Saints fan, so he want to watch the Saints. Why he can't just get the Saints pass? Why I gotta watch? I don't want the Vikings on my list. I don't want to watch the Buccaneers. I don't want to watch the Broncos. Well, I might have to when the Chargers beat on them, but I'm saying, like, I don't want to pay for them. I believe the NFL should have been there, and I think they would have made way more money if they would have been did that. There's only people who fans of other teams that just want to see. Then imagine if a guy who really like 4 different teams. There you go, you're making the money. And then also be like, well, I want to watch all 4 of these teams. Well, I'm gonna buy the whole package. And then that's what them being greedy, but
yeah.
And
again, to me, just real quick, SB. I think again, the whole idea is, there's Sundays where the game on national television stinks. I don't want to watch it. So I should be able to, as a consumer, if I want to go purchase an individual game and I want to pay $7.99 or $9.99 to watch that game, I should be able to pay for that one game, watch it, and not have any problems. They didn't offer that alternative to fans. And again, it was only on DirecTV. So it wasn't like you could buy a Sunday ticket on another provider. You had to have DirecTV to do it. So at the time, and now you got to have YouTube TV to have NFL Sunday tickets. So, to be able to buy it. So yeah, it's I think it's going to change the landscape of, hopefully, of sports media and get sports game distribution nationwide. So we'll see what happens.
NBA, you better get on it before they get y'all next. Luckily, my team is at home. I can watch my team, but it is a couple other teams that I would like to watch during the season. Like, no funny stuff. I would probably love to watch Orlando Magic games, especially OKC Thunder, Timberwolves games too. Like, I wouldn't mind watching those other guys, especially how the Bulls going to be this year. I'm gonna need something else to watch this year.
Yeah, breaking news, SB. Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson popped up on SmackDown tonight in the ring. So.
Oh yeah, I got. Oh, that's what I'm literally going to turn to SmackDown once the show over with too. Yeah. That's what I'm like, because it's supposed to be going down with the bloodline. But snap! Yeah, look, all right, cool. One more story. I gotta go watch wrestling. One more story. Caitlin Clark, Andrew Reese breaks WNBA viewership record again for third straight. Their third meeting. I got a suggestion that will save the WNBA. Hear me out, y'all. Hear me out. I remember how everybody was saying, like, we should just let Caitlin Clark go off and do her thing. No, don't do that. It'll take away from the integrity of the game. And I know y'all chasing the business. I thought about that, but that'd have been wrong. I got the perfect suggestion, Sean. give Kayla Clark and Angel Reese a super team and let them be competitive, win a championship, like championship competitive team. Stack the deck. Just bug the system, make them get trades, trade a second round pick for Asia Wilson. No, not Asia Wilson. Leave Vegas alone. The only team they get to pass to not get touches is the Aces. The Aces, they finna win 3 straight. So they solidify their legacy. But go to Liberty, go get Stewart, go get Stu, put on the Sky. Let's go ahead, build the Fever and the Sky as super teams, and let the Angel Reese and Kayla Clark go head-to-head in the playoffs. If they possibly meet in the finals, they'll get some of the most record-breaking viewership they ever had in life. That's the game plan right there. That's what you guys should do. Give Reese and Kayla Clark a super team. I'm just saying it, Sean. I think it'll work.
I mean, listen, for me, SB, just make sure Paige Beckers ends up in Chicago next season. That's all. You do that, and then we got something to talk about. We got something to talk about. Yeah.
Where you want Juju to go in the next 4 years? What, 3 years?
It doesn't matter. She gonna hoop wherever she goes.
Hey, it'd be crazy. End up on like the links and then do like be on her mind more thing. Or she could come to Chicago too. Hey, that's what we might have to go ahead and take that year. So is that okay? How good we are? Hey, Paige, if we get Paige and Reese, sit down. Oh, you ACL. I want your ACL hurt for real. Pretend CL. You out for the season. Yeah, you chipped the mandicore or something. So let's do that.
Yeah, Chicago says Chicago's got to own their pick next season. Hey, one good thing about it is WNBA picks move all the time, so they could always try to acquire another pick. So we'll see. And looking at the standings, it looks like right now the Mystics would have the first pick based on the standings right now if the season ended today. So
shout out my brother Hayes at Chicago Bulls Central. They be doing their thing over there, all Chicago news. And they talk about the Sky too. If the Sky was in position to get Paige, Dallas will take that pick. Yeah, they probably is. But then we could just be, trash the next like 3 years, and then we go get Juju. I'm just saying. But I'm saying if they want to take it to the next level, like they say they do, stack the Fever in the Sky. Let them go head to head. It's no conferences in the playoffs. So you can possibly get them on 2 different sides, meet in the finals, and that'll be the best viewership they ever had. You will have it on High Sports because it's hard to get people to watch the regular season in the NBA sometimes too. People just keep it with their certain teams and certain games. But when the playoffs come, everybody lock in. That'd be the perfect time to get them to play each other. That's it. But man, that has been another great episode of Real Takes Over Fake Debates. Shout out my boy Hayes. I should have had Hayes on to talk about this MJ. Hayes, I'm gonna need you soon, man. We gotta talk about this the MJ and talk about this Bulls pick too. So, brother, I'm gonna chop it up, which I'm gonna send you an email, get you on the pod. I'm supposed to got you on the pod, brother. But Sean, another great episode of Real Takes Over Fake Debates, sponsored by Swift Energy. You go to swiftenergy.gg, use code RTOFD to get 20% off your order. And if you enjoy the content, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Episode 85, though, Sean. Who you got for episode 85?
Throwback Art Monk.
Art Monk. Ooh, I like Art Monk.
Yeah, Art Monk. Also, we'll shout out another 85. One of my favorite tight ends in the last 20 years, Vernon Davis.
Vernon Davis. I like that. I like Vernon Davis.
Yeah, shout out Vernon Davis. And hopefully him and the family doing well after the passing of his brother, Vontae.
Oh, yeah, you already know. I got to go my era a little bit. I'm going Ocho Cinco for sure. Ocho Cinco. And then I'm looking at the other way. I should show Jack Youngblood some love. But I'm a Chargers fan, man. Antonio Gates, of course. I got to go Mr. Gates. I got to go Gates. Top five tight end all time, too.
Hey, Antonio Gates wore 85?
Yeah, Antonio Gates wore 85. Yes, he did. Yes, sir. I know. Now you got to have me double checking like I'm wrong.
No, I'm kidding. No, I know he wore 85. I'm kidding.
I'm finna say, hold on. I'm saying, I know. I'm finna say, I know.
No,
I said, I know Antonio Gates wore 85, but Ocho Cinco.
I think he's did he make the Hall of Fame this year? Did he make the Hall of Fame?
No, not yet, but they playing my boy. Antonio Gates should be in the Hall of Fame, no question. Should be first ballot.
Yeah.
So I'm about to check again, but
he's not first. I know he didn't make first ballot, so yeah, but
should have been. But it's cool. As long as he make the next one. It better not be 10 years from now. Antonio Gates still not in the Hall of Fame. That's all.
No. You should get in the next couple of years if he didn't get in this year.
Yeah. But appreciate everybody watching on the TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Kick. Thank you guys. We're going to see you guys on Monday. This has been an action-packed episode of Real Takes Over Fake Debates. And see you guys on the next one. We are out of here, Sean. I got to go watch WWE because I've heard it's going down, so I got to go catch up on that.
Rucker Man.
Cap, MC Roberts.